Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk Tuesday. It is I, your host, Pop, and I hope everyone's doing well today. Let's get into looking at some of the news in industry. As with all Trades Talk Tuesdays, we look at what's going on in the industry and later on how to get into it, what you need to be in the skilled trades. First off, we will check out right here, courtesy of Plant Magazine. We'll look at some interesting articles here. Tesla gets $330 million tax deal for Nevada expansion truck plant. So what is going on here? Tesla won more than $330 million in tax breaks from Nevada on Thursday for the company's commitment to a massive expansion of its sprawling vehicle battery facilities east of Reno, including the construction of a new electric semi-truck factory. Approval from the Governor's Office of Economic Development came as Governor Joe Lombardo cited the benefit of good-paying jobs and a nearly decade-long boost to the local economy around Tesla's huge gigafactory. Critics said Thursday that working-class families have been left out of the equation because the state agreed in 2014 to provide more than $1 billion in tax breaks to lure Tesla to Nevada. The deal is the latest to mark northern Nevada as a focal point in the U.S. transition to green energy, as Democratic President Joe Biden's administration seeks to move away from gas-powered vehicles in the larger fight against climate change. Tesla has far exceeded every promise they made going back to 2014, said Lombardo, a Republican who chairs the board made up of top state-elected education and business officials. Lombardo, who took office in January after defeating Democratic Governor Steve Sisolak in November, has proposed a two-year state budget of $11 billion. He tweeted a photo of himself January 24th with Tesla CEO Elon Musk at the industrial park east of Reno Sparks and called the pending agreement an incredible investment in our state. Musk, who also owns Twitter and the rocket company SpaceX. And greetings to you, Angry Canadian. Good to see you. You're going to lurk. You'll listen to the audio when it's lunchtime. Hey, that's fine by me. I appreciate it. The article continues. The $330 million figure remains secret until Monday because of a non-disclosure agreement between Tesla and state officials that drew complaints from lawmakers in the Democratic-controlled state legislature about having only 3 days to review a 20-year tax abatement. This is little to no opportunity to explore how this deal may affect housing supply, public schools, public safety, and other vital government services in the region, Senator Dina Neal said in a statement. The Democrat from North Las Vegas, who chairs the chamber's Revenue and Economic Development Committee, did not immediately respond Thursday to messages seeking further comment. Bob Fulkerson, a longtime social justice organizer in Reno who raised similar concerns, said the needs of working-class families are being ignored, while my revenue-starved state gives almost $2 billion in tax subsidies to the world's richest man in less than 10 years. That is why Elon is rich, is because he gets all these tax breaks. This game has been rigged, just like the 2014, when those proceedings were also shrouded in secrecy and Tesla pitted us against California and Texas in a bidding war that made the governor and legislature think we had to sell the farm, Fulkerson said. Lombardo's statement said Tesla spent $6.2 billion on its existing 5.4 million square foot gigafactory, which the governor said produced 17,000 construction jobs and more than 11,000 highly paid permanent jobs. And hello, Alex Moore. Good to see you. Just reading about Tesla and their big factory in Nevada. Tesla projects it will make another $3.6 billion capital investment, creating 3,000 jobs at an average hourly rate of $33.49 an hour, with health insurance for 91% of its employees. The company plans to add 4 million square feet of production space at 2 new factories at the Truckee Reno Industrial Center about 20 miles east of Reno Sparks along Interstate 80. One plant will have a capacity to produce batteries for 1.5 million light-duty vehicles a year, the company said. The other will have Tesla's first production line for electric combination trucks. Musk has said the goal is a battery range of 500 miles when pulling an 82,000-pound load. I would be impressed to see that. When you can use a battery-powered truck to pull 82,000 pounds for 500 miles, I will be impressed when that happens. But we'll see. Public support for the deal came from the White House and Mitch Landrieu, Biden's infrastructure chief. Support also came from the University of Nevada, Reno President Brian Sandoval, a Republican who, as Nevada governor, approved an initial $1.3 billion Tesla abatement deal in 2014, and a preschool at the factory site that said it will expand its hours to accommodate workers. 3 elected lawmakers in rural Story County, where the Tesla factory is located, lauded the economic benefit to the region, but they said the county of just 4,100 permanent residents deserves more tax revenue to support infrastructure and services, including police, fire, and EMS. Tom Burns, executive director of the Governor's Office of Economic Development, said in a statement that Tesla Gigafactory has propelled the state manufacturing industry and established lithium-ion batteries as the state's 8th largest export. A Nevada-based recycling plant for electric vehicle batteries won a $2 billion green energy loan from the Biden administration in February. On Wednesday, a federal appeals court refused to block construction of the largest lithium mine in the U.S. about 200 miles northeast of Reno, where Lithium Nevada Corp has now begun work. The San Francisco-based court is considering claims by conservationists and tribes that the government illegally approved it in a rush to produce raw materials for electric vehicle batteries. And that's probably what happened. There's so much shady backdoor dealing. It's unbelievable. Let's see here. Ford to raise production as U.S. auto sales start to recover. Well, that's good to hear, isn't it? We want to have recovering auto sales. Let's see what the article has to say. Dearborn, Michigan. Ford will increase production of 6 models this year, half of them electric, as the company and the auto industry start to rebound from sluggish U.S. sales in 2022. The automaker announced Friday that it plans to build more of the Mustang Mach-E, the Bronco Sport SUV and Maverick small pickup, the F-150 Lightning electric pickup, and the Transit and E-Transit gas and electric full-size vans. To help increase production, the company last year said it would add a third shift and 1,100 jobs to its full-size van plant in Claycomo, Missouri, near Kansas City, and another 3,200 jobs related to building the F-150 Lightning, which is made in Dearborn, Michigan. Ford will also hire an unspecified number of new workers this year at plants in Cotitlan and Hermosillo, Mexico, where the Mach-E, Maverick, and Bronco Sport are made. According to spokesman, said deep production line speeds will increase shortly to raise production with more workers coming later, he said. For more than 2 years, U.S. auto sales have been depressed largely due to a shortage of computer chips during the coronavirus pandemic. But the chip shortage is easing, and automakers like Ford are starting to increase production and build supplies on dealer lots. Overall in the U.S., auto sales fell almost 8% last year to just under 14 million, with Ford's dropping just over 2%, according to Auto Data Corp. But in February, overall industry sales rose 9.5% over the same month a year ago, according to LMC Automotive, which sees sales increasing to 15 million this year. Ford sales were up almost 22% in February. The industry is on its track back, said Joe Schuster, Executive Vice President of Automotive for LMC and Global Data. Shares of Ford rose 3.6% in Friday afternoon trading after the production announcement was made. At crosstown rival General Motors, full-size pickup truck inventory rebounded enough that it will shut down a factory in Fort Wayne, Indiana for 2 weeks, starting March 27th, to control it. Ford suspended production of the F-150 Lightning in February after a battery caught fire during a pre-delivery quality check. Jeep said the battery issue has been resolved and production will resume March 13th to an annual rate of 150,000. Mach-E production will rise to an annual rate of 210,000 by year's end, while the company plans to boost Bronco Sport and Maverick production by 80,000 vehicles this year. Transit and E-Transit production will rise by 38,000. Sales are up so far this year for all the models that will see production increases. The production jumps are good news for consumers who have had long wait times for some more popular models and have been forced to pay high prices due to strong demand and short supplies. JD Power reported that the average U.S. new vehicle sold for $46,229 last month, a record for that month of February. But as the chip shortage eases and automakers can produce more this year, Schuster said there will be some easing of prices even on hot-selling models. I would expect some relief on the pricing front, he said, adding that sticker prices could come down or automakers could offer discounts. But he said prices will remain high and aren't expected to return to pre-pandemic levels. Well, I don't know. Is anyone else out there having a hard time finding a new car? I talked to some of the people at work there, and apparently there's a waiting list if you want to get like a new car. You go in there and you're like, I want a car. And they're like, yeah, which one? And they'll be like, yeah, it'll be a year before you can get it. So I'm hoping things are gonna stop being like that and everyone can get their cars a little quicker than waiting a year. What else we got here? DOE grants $375 million loan for lithium battery recycling plant. Who's DOE? The effort to satisfy vast demand for lithium or for electric vehicle batteries moved one step forward with a $375 million loan for the Department of Energy to Li-Cycle, a battery recycling company, to build a lithium-ion battery recovery plant near Rochester, New York. Monday's announcement is the third in the U.S. recently. Last Tuesday, the large recycling firm Ecobat said it will build its first battery recycling plant in Casa Grande, Arizona. Earlier this month, DOE Loans Programs Office also announced a conditional $2 billion loan to Redwood Materials to build a battery recycling facility outside Reno, Nevada. It will also make new EV battery cells out of recovered copper foil and other electrochemical materials. The Rochester facility is expected to support the battery needs of about 203,000 electric vehicles per year. The discarded lithium batteries that are its source material will be collected and readied for transport to New York at the sites including Gilbert, Arizona, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Recycling lithium is seen as far less environmentally damaging than mining it from the ground and potentially less expensive. Mining lithium can degrade ecosystems and contaminate lakes and rivers, but mining both domestically and internationally is expected to dramatically increase to meet growing demand for electric vehicles and other clean technologies. That's a misnomer. They say clean technologies, but getting the raw materials is not clean. So don't fall for the word speak, the way they bandy these words around. The DOE announcements came within hours of another by American Battery Technology Company that it has discovered one of the largest known lithium deposits in the U.S. at Tonopah Flats in Big Smoky Valley, Nevada. It's estimated to contain 15.8 million tons of lithium carbonate equivalent. The Li-Cycle announcement is the fifth project related to critical materials and EV supply chain announced under the Advanced Technology Vehicles Manufacturing Loan Program, part of DOE. In 2021, the U.S. set a target for half of all new domestic vehicles sold to be electric by 2030. A DOE National Blueprint for Lithium Batteries outlines a strategy for expanding lithium battery manufacturing and highlights the need for raw materials and pursuit of alternatives. So there we go. Recycling lithium batteries. They're going to have to do more than have those plants, I'm sure. You need way more to handle what's going to come. There's going to be a big rush of batteries that are going to have to be getting rid of. Scout Motors picks South Carolina for new $2 billion EV plant. Company planning to make COVID COVID-19 vaccine in Canada could go out of business. Good. China's manufacturing accelerates as economy revives. DeRosier says February auto sales up 5.1% from earlier year. Yes, that's what the like that other article I heard or read. Tesla says it will cut costs of next generation cars in half. Okay. How are they going to do that? For those of you that are interested in buying a EV, let's see how they're going to do it. Tesla says it will cut costs of next generation of vehicles in half, largely by using innovative manufacturing techniques and smaller factories. This after we just read an article that said they're going to expand one of their factories by 5.4 million square feet. So, who do you believe here? Anyway, continuing on. CEO Elon Musk and other executives outlined the goals during a 3.5-hour Investor Day presentation at Tesla's Austin, Texas headquarters Wednesday as they presented the company's third master plan. The changes could bring the cost of a new generation of vehicles to around $25,000. Many investors were hoping to catch a glimpse of the next generation vehicles, but Musk said they wouldn't be shown until a proper product unveiling. We'd be jumping the gun if we answer your question about the new vehicles, he told an analyst. Shares of Tesla fell nearly 6%. There we go. Little mic trouble, that's all. Try to get that. There we go. Yeah. Where was I? Shares of Tesla fell nearly 6% in after-hours trading during the presentation that ended just after 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Musk announced that Tesla plans to build a new factory in Mexico near Monterrey. Company executives said it will not take production from any other factories where Tesla expects to expand production. They said the Mexican plant will build the next generation of vehicles, which also will be built at other factories. It's likely that the next generation vehicles will be smaller than the current ones to bring the prices down, but that wasn't clear from the presentation. Many automakers build smaller vehicles in Mexico to save on labor costs and preserve profit margins. CFRA analyst Garrett Nelson attributed the drop in Tesla's stock to the lack of details on the new vehicles, as well as the company's history of seeing its share price rise ahead of big events only to fall when the actual news is made. He said the company's long-term focus may have disappointed some investors, but he sees Tesla's vision as justifying its high stock valuation versus other automakers. What they outlined really made the case that it deserves to trade at a big premium to the rest of the industry, he said. Franz von Holzhausen, Tesla's design chief, said the company must make another sharp reduction in costs in order to reach its ambitious electric vehicle production target of 20 million vehicles per year by 2030. Tesla expects to manufacture 1.8 million this year. The company, he said, will build the cars in smaller modular units, then bring those units together. The system uses less space. Executive said as a result, its new electric powertrain factory will be half the size of the one Tesla just built in Austin, costing 65% less. It also means we can build more factories at the same time, said Tom Zhu, who leads Tesla manufacturing. Chief Financial Officer Zachary Kirkhorn said the company cuts costs in half between the early Model S and X and the second generation Models 3 and Y. It's planning to do that again for the next generation, but will also improve the cars at the same time, he said. The company said it would design vehicles so they have fewer wires and transistors and use fewer expensive rare earth metals in the batteries. As we improve affordability, the number of customers who have access to our products increases, Kirkhorn said. Musk said demand for Tesla vehicles is large, but many who want one now can't afford them. Executives said Tesla is unique from other automakers because all the people involved in the vehicle design and manufacturing are in the same room. The company also designs and makes many of its parts and software, while others rely on tiers of parts supply companies. The company also said it opened 10 of its supercharger stations to owners of other electric vehicles as of Wednesday, and it plans to offer a package of unlimited home charging for $30 per month in Texas using wind as the power source. Kirkhorn said new master plan includes product advances, rapid volume growth, and technology advancement. Musk began the session saying there is a clear path to sustainable energy on Earth, but it will take changing just about everything from fossil fuel power to electricity generated by renewable sources. The Earth can support more people than it does now without destroying natural habitats or huge austerity, he said. And there you go. That's how they're going to try to cut their cost of their cars in half. We'll see. We'll see if they can do it. This renewable energy crap is a pipe dream. You know what, Godzilla? I 100% agree with you on that. It's a bunch of what do you call it? Like fancy propaganda words, like, you know, whatever's hip and trendy. They start throwing those words out there, and people believe them. So yeah, renewable energy it is a pipe dream. And that's about it for what's going on in industry. Let's have a look here. For those of you that are interested, what I usually talk about is how do you get into the skilled trades, or what you need to do in order to get into them. So this is from the Government of Canada website. Surprise, surprise. They actually are putting something useful up for people to read. So it starts out here. Skilled trades are in high demand, rewarding and essential to communities across Canada. Choosing a career in the skilled trades gives you the freedom to turn what you love into what you do. Follow your passion. Discover which skilled trade is best for you. Earn money while you learn a skilled trade and kickstart a lifelong career that is well paid, in demand, and respected. There's even a career quiz. You can find out what career might be right for you. So you just click on the link here, and it'll probably take you. Well, let's do that. So here's a career quiz. 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So you can do all these and find out maybe which one you would like the best. Maybe which one would suit you the best. Obviously, just because it's from a Canadian website doesn't mean it won't apply to you. It's sure there's trades all over, so US, Canada, it shouldn't matter. So the skilled trades are an exciting career choice, and many are in high demand. Career paths in the skilled trades are full of potential, with more than 300 designated trades to choose from in Canada. Of those, 54 can have Red Seal trade designation. Generally, skilled tradespeople work in one of these sectors. All Red Seal means is you can work in other provinces. If you don't have a Red Seal, then you work in the province that you're in. And if you want to go to a different province, you'll probably have to write the test again. But if you have a Red Seal, you can just go from province to province. I mean, a few people do that, but not a lot. Construction is a multi-billion-dollar industry in Canada that offers high-demand careers. It features electricians, carpenters, plumbers, steam fitters, pipe fitters, welders, heavy equipment operators, and painters, among other trades. Transportation includes maintenance and repair of vehicles, ranging from automobiles and motorcycles to trucks and heavy equipment. Transportation includes trades such as automotive service technicians, heavy-duty equipment technicians, motorcycle technicians, and more. Manufacturing and industrial features careers in many different manufacturing sectors, including automotive, parts and vehicle manufacturing, product manufacturing, and the resource extraction and processing industries. Manufacturing trades include tool and die makers, industrial mechanics or millwrights, metal fabricators, and more. The services sector is a major industry in the Canadian economy. It includes cooks, bakers, hairstylists, landscape horticulturalists, and more. Information and digital technology skills are central to many trades, including instrumentation and control technicians, machinists, and crane operators. I don't know if I would have put machinists and crane operators into information and digital technology. I mean, working on a lathe, unless it's a CNC machine, and a crane operator, like your scale controls might be digital and such, but you know, you're going to be using hydraulics and such like that to operate your crane, levers and everything. So Whatever, I guess they had to throw that in there somewhere. Next up is the top in-demand skilled trades across Canada. Over 256,000 new apprentices are needed over the next 5 years to meet demand in Canada. So 250,000 apprentices are needed. Top in-demand skilled trades expected from 2022 to 2026. A cook, industrial electrician, industrial mechanic. That's my trade. Paint and decorator, and welder. And then you can break it down even further by region, depending on which province you're in. So in Alberta, automotive service technician, carpenter, cook, industrial mechanic, painter and decorator, welder. In Atlantic Canada, so all these guys in Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. Carpenter, cook, hairstylist, heavy-duty equipment technician, industrial electrician, welder. In British Columbia, that is the westernmost province. The one on, as you're looking at the map there, it's the one on the very left, at the bottom there. Hairstylist, industrial electrician, painter and decorator, steam fitter, pipe fitter, welder. Manitoba. Manitoba is the one that's right by Ontario. Cook, industrial electrician, industrial mechanic, painter and decorator, welder. I'm noticing a pattern here. In Ontario, cook, heavy-duty equipment technician, industrial electrician, painter and decorator, welder. In Quebec, the province of the French people, the Québécois, you got the hairstylist, the heavy-duty equipment technician, industrial mechanic, plumber. In Saskatchewan, that is the province that is looks just like a rectangle. It is very easy for kids to draw their province. Carpenter, construction electrician, cook, refrigeration and air conditioning mechanic, sheet metal worker, and steam fitter, pipe fitter, and welder. And last but not least, in the territories, which are the provinces or the ones that are in the northern in the northern part by the Arctic Circle. So that's the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. Heavy-duty equipment technician, heavy equipment operator, electrician, and welder. They also provide financial support. It might vary depending on which state you live in, whether you'll get financial support or anything like that. You can do student loans, I'm sure, but most of the time, trade school isn't that expensive. It shouldn't be anyway. They have testimonial videos. Okay, this is important. Listen up. How to join the skilled trades. There are different paths into the skilled trades. Explore the hands-on experience of becoming a skilled tradesperson and start your career journey. You can do an apprenticeship. Apprenticeship allows you to earn money while you learn and is a great path into a career in the skilled trades. As an apprentice, you'll take classes and learn a trade by working on the job under the direction of experienced workers. Find out how to become an apprentice with step-by-step instructions. Look at this. Step-by-step instructions. Step 1. Find a trade. Decide what trade you want to pursue. Not sure what to pick? Consider picking from the list of designated Red Seal trades. Picking a Red Seal trade means you can eventually apply for Red Seal certification. This certification will let you work anywhere in Canada, as I said earlier. Step 2. Find apprentice opportunities. And they have a bunch of links here. Apprentice opportunities, careers in the skilled trades on Skills Canada, definitions for apprenticeship programs, training and certification details for apprenticeship programs, certification in more than one province or territory. Step 3. Find an employer to provide you with on-the-job training. You start an apprenticeship with on-the-job training, followed by short periods of in-class technical training as your apprenticeship progresses. This is done while you continue to work and get paid. Find an employer who agrees to provide you with on-the-job training. When this happens, you are entering into an agreement with your employer. Apprenticeship in Quebec. In Quebec, you will have to attend a classroom training at the CEGP college or training institution first. Then you will have to take on-the-job training with an employer. Register, and step 4, register your training agreement. Register your training agreement with your provincial or territorial apprenticeship authority. Throughout your apprenticeship, you will receive on-the-job experience and, in most cases, attend in-class technical training. Step 5, get financial aid. offers up to an apprenticeship incentive grant offers up to $2,000 total per person to help apprentices cover the cost of continuing a career in the trades. They even have apprenticeship incentive grant for women, offers up to $6,000 total to help women apprentices cover the cost for continuing a career in the Red Seal trades. There you go. You get an apprenticeship completion grant that gives you $2,000 when you're done. There's a Canada Apprentice Loan, tax deductions and credits. Step 6, earn while you learn. Depending on the trade, you can take it between 2 and 5 years of training before you apply to become a certified journeyperson. And step 7, get certified. After you complete both in the class and on the job, you can apply for your journeyman. It's not journeyperson, it's journeyman. Journeyman certificate. This certificate is also known as Certificate of Qualification or as your ticket. And Red Seal trades. Completing your apprenticeship in the Red Seal trade allows you to work anywhere in Canada. It also gives you access to many of the benefits available from the Government of Canada. So there you go. That is a step-by-step of how to become an apprentice. There's also, if you are experienced in a trade, you may be eligible to have your work experience and or training in a skilled trade assessed. Based on this assessment, you may receive certification. So if you've been doing a job that would be considered a trade, and but don't have a ticket in it, but you've been doing it, this is what you would do then. You're like, yeah, I've been doing this job for however many years, but I don't have a ticket. Oh, well, here, you can do your assessment as a trade qualifier. Each province and territory has its own certification requirements, and it gives you a link here to explore all of the services available and to find your trade. There's also pre-trades programs. They offer you a well-rounded look at the techniques used across a variety of skilled trades. Completing one of these programs may help you get hired as an apprentice. I actually went through one of these pre-apprenticeship program right out of high school. So I graduated high school. I worked as a summer student at an industrial cement plant, and then I went into a pre-trade program, which I think it took me about, what did it take? A year or so? Maybe? I can't remember how long it took me. Anyway, they showed me a large overview of what different trades were like. And then I picked the one to go into, which was industrial mechanic, and there we go. The rest, as they say, is history. What comes next? Pass the Red Seal examination to receive a Red Seal endorsement. It's a highly valuable professional designation that allows you to practice your trade anywhere in Canada. Red Seal program creates common standards and examinations for provinces and territories and covers 54 trades in Canada. Explore the Red Seal trades and take your career where you want it to go. So there you go. That is explanation, and it's pretty straightforward. I found this one story. Canada sounds a lot more structured than the U.S. You know what? It just might very well be. I really don't know much about the American apprenticeship situation there, like what they do or what they try to, how their system works to make apprentices and such. So I don't know. I would be curious to find out though. And this article I have here, BC skilled trades apprentices land $1 million for training amid labor shortages. This was written today in the morning, 7:19 a.m. I'm pretty sure this will be about the skilled trade shortage, but we'll see what happens. As BC looks to attract and retain more skilled tradespeople in order to mitigate labor shortages, the Construction Foundation of BC is receiving $1 million for a new program that supports individuals who are working towards a Red Seal endorsement. The Coast Capital Road to Red Seal program, announced March 6th, is all about ensuring that more individuals complete their apprenticeships, said Abigail Fulton, Executive Director of CFBC. The Interprovincial Red Seal program sets common standards for tradespeople across Canada and is used as proof that a tradesperson has met the national standard in their trade. It is predicted that an additional 1 million job openings will be available over the next decade, with 117,000 openings in the skilled trades according to BC's latest labour market outlook. Many students who are on the pathway to trade qualification and Red Seal endorsement struggle with educational barriers, said Fulton. Completion rates for this training is below 41% in BC and 50% across Canada. Those who abandon the program struggle the most with the academic portions of the training, said Fulton. Everybody has different learning styles, and quite often individuals who gravitate towards the trades, not always, but often, are not great at book learning. She said, what the hell is she know? She did not. You know, it's the attitude like that that gives trades a bad name, especially when you get somebody that's in charge of a program and saying that the people that go into trades aren't great at book learning. You know, it's not, you're not doing university or college level things. You're not getting your PhD. So you need to have a grade 10 education for most trades. I'll tell you right now. So anyway, they're sponsored into apprenticeships, and then at some point they have to go back to school, and then they start having the same problems they perhaps had when they were in high school. Hopefully they're a little more mature, though. I mean, if you're been out in the workforce, you should have matured a bit. Fulton said that if CFBC can increase the completion rate by 20%, it will make a big difference in supporting the gaps in skilled trades. How many genders does a grade 10 education cover? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's all. You'll find that nobody going to trade school ever even considers those type of questions or anything like that. Many efforts to solve the chronic shortage of skilled trades across the province focus on attracting those who aren't already within the industry. This investment takes a different approach by supporting those who have already put their hands up, Fulton said. They want to be in the industry but are struggling to get through their schooling, she said. When it comes to finding solutions for skill shortages, this is a good one because we already have them in the system, but they're dropping out, and we want to stop that. We want to keep them in the trades, and we want them to get through the trade qualification. I'd question whether she even knows what goes on. You know how it is? You go, and I'm speaking from my third and fourth year. I went to the school. I went to schooling. You buy your books, and they're put up into different modules, different sections and everything. They're all broken down nicely. You read the module. There's questions in it at the back of it. And you read the module, you answer the question, and it's straightforward. The questions are taken right from in the module. Unless you don't read it or don't do your work, you're gonna pass because they take the questions from the modules and put them on the exams they give you. So read the module, do the questions, read it over again, memorize the questions, and they'll be on the test that you go and take. It's not that hard. I don't know why she keeps thinking everybody's struggling. Fulton describes the investment as one of the most exciting things I've seen in decades. I've been involved in involved in apprenticeship training. There are the usual suspects who show up and are passionate to support the trade, such as apprenticeship authorities, training providers, employers, etc. But it's not very often we get a group that is outside of the traditional stakeholders coming to the table with such a significant investment. Maureen Young, a vice president of social purpose at Coast Capital, said the program is working towards the company's goal of building better futures through unlocking financial opportunity. We just started to talk about some blue sky thinking about how you could really make a difference and attack those pain points. And it was through that back and forth in conversation that the Construction Foundation said actually less than half of people who are initiating the Red Seal certification are making it through, Young said. Okay, Red Seal certification. It's not necessary unless you're going across into different provinces. Red Seal, and I should know, I have a Red Seal. That test was damn hard. So you do your fourth year exam, and then there's a Red Seal, which is you're given 4 hours to complete that one. and it covers all your years. So from first to fourth, and it is a damn hard exam. But it's focusing on people getting their red seal. That's nice and everything, but it's not necessary unless you're going to a different part of a different province. They'll have a series of conversations with an individual. They'll do some explorations. They might do some assessments, and they're going to be able to come up with an approach that's tailored to that person's unique set of circumstances, she said. Anyway, that is the end of that. Next on the agenda, how about checking out one of these cool pumps that I've been dealing with? This thing is really neat. This is a Pulsa, they call it it's from Pulsafeeder. It's a hydraulic diaphragm metering pump. And this thing is really, really neat. So say you work for an OEM as a service tech that travels all over Canada, would you need a red seal? I don't know, because it's, if you just wanted to switch companies from province to province, yes. But if you're working for a company and you're just traveling with them, I don't know. I can't give you a firm answer because I'm not sure. They might want you to have one anyway, and it might be a prerequisite when you apply for the job. Or they might say, no, you're certified here in this province, but we're going to send you all around different provinces to do work. So I'm not sure. The company that they do the work for might want them to have a red seal. So we use this thing for pumping something called carbon disulfide. And it is a pretty flammable liquid. And you don't want to get any of it exposed to the atmosphere. We don't want any fugitive emissions or anything like that. So this is a really neat pump. We've been using it for about 1.5 years in our plant site. And it just quietly pumps along. And the way it does it is very neat. The way they've done it. And it just tells you a few things about it, what it's made out of. It uses a diaphragm. And got the data sheet here for it. And what it can do. And it's you're looking at in gallons per hour. It's not gallons per minute, so it's not high flow at all. So you're going to be pumping, I don't even think we pump that much really. I think it's set on it's used a variable frequency drive, so it's controlled that way as well. So it'll control the speed of the motor that turns the pump. And I'll show you guys, it's a diaphragm design, which makes no contact with the, what do you call it? The piston makes no contact with the fluid that it's pumping. I got a YouTube video here. You can see on the right-hand side there, that's the diaphragm pumping the fluid. The fluid is green, and it uses the fluid pushes on the fluid, which pushes on the diaphragm. That's a better look at it right there. See how it pumps it along? This is quite an excellent looking model they did. And it operates with those if you have double check valves, you can have single check valves. Easily replaced, it looks like. I haven't had to do them yet, but and I have had the diaphragm out of it. Just for the simple fact that it gave us a false reading that there was a leak. So this is quite an excellent pump. I would definitely recommend it for people that are doing any kind of metering, and you don't want anything to come in contact with your whatever you're pumping. And that's all it is. It just uses the fluid as the pressure. It's like hydraulics. It pushes on the fluid, and that moves the diaphragm, which moves the material as it pulls it up from the bottom there, and then you can see that little piece there is moving its way along, and then it pushes up past the check ball right there, and there you go. That is, and I have some pictures here. I have some pictures of when we took it apart. Oh, right. I am going to have to do this. Close that, open that. There we go. So there you go. That is the face there. And there's the tube that the material flows through. There's another picture of it from a different angle. And there is the diaphragm. And as you can see, I'm going to zoom in here, but there's these two little tubes. One there and one here. And those are what pick up whether there's any leak in the diaphragm. So from there, yeah, and there that's how big it is. So I'm holding that thing there with my thumb and finger, and just zoom to 100% here. So that's how small those little pieces of pipe are. And that's the ring that holds the diaphragm. As you can see, there's the diaphragm sitting in the ring. And yes, Teflon diaphragm. You nailed it, Godzillionaire. Teflon is pretty resilient to any of the material that we're pumping. I think carbon disulfide doesn't attack it or anything like that. And that was the gauge that told us we had a pressure on this thing. So if there's ever a leak or a rip in the diaphragm, this gauge will go up and it'll show that there's pressure in there. But it gave us a false reading, probably because there was an air bubble or something trapped in it. So we erroneously took it apart to look for the ripped diaphragm, and yes, this is how we figured out that it was fine after all. The pump was totally fine. We screwed up and we jumped the gun. And there's where the fluid that pushes on the diaphragm comes through these holes here. And that's what does the pushing. So the fluid pushing on the diaphragm moves the fluid inside the inlet and outlet. A little better shot of it there. Tried to get a good close-up view, or at least a good clear view. Another picture of the diaphragm. There's a better shot of those. These things are just the tiniest things. Like, it's amazing how small those things are. And especially trying to find them and put them in there properly. You definitely need a magnifying glass. There's another close-up of it. Tried to get in a better shot, but the camera just couldn't focus on it. Oh, and this was the rebuild kit. So when you buy one of these pumps, you should get one of these. They're all the replacement parts to rebuild the pump. And they call it a COP kit. COP stands for Keep On Pumping. So they're pretty confident that everything is here that you need to rebuild that pump and get it back up and running again. And it doesn't have a lot of moving parts. You've got your piston that moves in and out due to the motor, and a worm and wheel design. which moves the piston, which just moves the fluid, which contacts the diaphragm to move the fluid you're pumping. But this one, the reason I took pictures of this is because it came to us, and usually your rebuild kits should be nicely, packaged, not be spread out all over the place like this. So these guys got a nasty phone call and email from us telling them this is unacceptable. You sell us a $7,000 rebuild kit and it comes like this. You guys this is not good. And so yeah, you can see nothing is in its original packaging. And it should have been. This is just the motor that runs the pump. I had to get the information from it. As you should when you're out there. You got to catalog the things so that you can either order a spare, which is what we did. When you order a motor, the most important thing of a motor, frame size. You get your frame size, and then you give them your voltage that you need to make sure that it's what your plant is built for, whether it's 230, 460, or 575. And then you have your spare there. You should always have a spare. That should be if you're in maintenance, that should be your mantra. Always have a spare. It is important. Oh, and I even took video of if they wanted proof that this thing was in bad shape. I took some video. As you can see here, it looks like this thing was pretty roughed up. I don't understand what their problem was. Like, did it get opened up by border security or something? Like, those are supposed to be those inflatable pillows. There you go. There's one that made it for packaging. The rest of them are flat. I don't get it. There's the manual. And your list of parts. And I'm just showing right now that was ripped open. And yeah, there's a seat, there's the ball. Another piece there. It's like, yeah, that gasket. Yeah. Just checking to see if that's damaged. But none of it is packaged up as it should be. And I believe that is it. So yeah. I really like these pumps. They're good pumps. They don't get stressed and strained. And attaching them to a VFD really helps it run very smooth. It only speed up if there's more material to pump. The VFD sends a signal to the motor to speed up a bit, pump a little faster. When there's less stuff, it slows it down, and it just sits there and it just runs and runs and runs. And I believe on the next shutdown, the only thing I'm going to have to do is change the shaft seal that connects the motor to the pump itself, because I think we get a few leaks out of there. PLCs are black magic. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh man. Some of those things, at least I'm glad I don't have to deal with them. I'm a mechanical guy. I'm not the instrumentation electrical guy. I'm the industrial mechanic. I just fix the pumps and such. I don't worry about how the VFD. I know enough to talk to an electrician, and find out stuff about it, maybe ask him questions. Which reminds me of we had to replace a exhaust fan, and we had to get a motor for it. So we went and we got a motor for it, and the electrician was there, and he would put it in, and he thought to himself, okay, well, the louvers are moving a little bit. that should be okay. But one of the operators complained the louvers are not opening as much as they should. And we were at the morning meeting, and I said, well, it could just be a simple matter of changing a phase, and the motor's spinning the wrong direction. And sure enough, when the electrician came back to fix that up, all he did was go up there, change a phase, and the louvers opened wide open. So I know enough to just question things and throw out ideas. So it happens to the best of us, these little mistakes here and there. But all he did, switch the phase, and it spun the right direction, and the exhaust fan was working perfectly. So, not throwing anybody under the bus, but just a story of what goes on. So yeah, I really do like these. What do you call it? This Pulsafeed pump. If you ever have to deal with Pulsafeed stuff, I definitely definitely would recommend getting one. Well, we're just about up again to the top of the hour. Anybody's got any questions or anything like that? Speak up. I don't mind. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. I want to say thanks for everyone that came out. All you guys. Really appreciate it. Nice to be able to speak about the skilled trades. I know a lot of people on here. A lot of channels are into the, what do you call it? The trash television or stuff like that. They like to find a series and bag on it, or whatever the flavor of the month is. They feel they have to say stuff about that. Hey, AC, good to see you. You made it. It's your lunchtime, is it? I was just telling everybody that I really like explaining about the skilled trades, because it's not talking about the latest trash show or whatever, or hate watched show or whatever like that, or what they've done. I like to spread the word of the skilled trades, and I'm hoping that more people will tune in and go into the skilled trades, no matter how old they are. Also, I'd like to try to get some other tradesmen on here, because that would be a fun time. Do some interviews and find out what it's like for them being in their trade, and whether they notice the same things that I do about the shortages and how things are. So if you know anybody that's in the skilled trades, or anybody that's just even interested, send them my way. Tell them, hey, there's this guy, he goes on YouTube every Tuesday, and he talks about the trades. He lets you know that there's a shortage out there, and we need people, and what to expect, and how to get into them. We went through that whole article on how to get into them, and that was the government telling us that. So, or at least the Canadian government. I don't know about the American government. I'm curious to find out whether they have any kind of sort of help to get the people getting into the trades here. And there's been so much stuff I've been exposed to over the last 25 years. It's been quite amazing. Just so you know, I still have all my all 10 fingers. So American government is too worried about pronouns. Yeah, you know what? I'm so sorry about that. That's just, to me, that's having your head in the wrong place. Like, Knock it off. Can't you see that there's more important things to worry about? You know, people need to make a living. People need to be able to earn money to be able to afford their groceries, you know, make their car payments, house payment, whatever they need to do. There's more important things to do, and that's get an education. You know, go out there, and also people themselves have to take responsibility. Having power and running water is nice too. Yeah, exactly. But like other people have to take responsibility for themselves. You can't just sit around and hope that the government feeds you and clothes you and everything like that. You've got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Get out there. You got to think to yourself, I want to make something of myself. I am going to be, I'm going to be my own man. I'm not going to have to worry about anyone trying to look after me. I am going to look after me. Because I think that's the way it should be. Don't mean to go off on a rant here, but it needs to be said. I think that a lot of people are used to having their hands held and taken care of, and that just don't fly. It shouldn't anyway. It shouldn't fly anymore. I always think back to the turn of the century, back in the 1900s. You didn't work, you don't eat, you starve. There is no social safety net. There was nothing like that. You work or you die. That's it. That was the way it was. Yeah, cruel and harsh, but you know what? More people worked because they don't want to starve. Once the zombies come, a liberal arts degree won't help much. Yeah, yeah. It's like, hey, what can you do? I know I can repair machinery, and this guy can run cable and such for the house. What can you do? Well, I can debate whether Tolkien was using the metaphor of transgendered ents for the. Oh, yeah, okay. Somebody kick him into the zombies. I get it. You're right though. What's it gonna do in the real world? Nothing. So yeah. Not the liberal arts. Hey, Jake D. There he is. Keep doing what you're doing. We need more people. Oh, thanks, AC. You can swing a bag to fight off the zombies. I do what I can, I try my best. That's all I can do. Go to work every day. I'm not going to say I work hard, but I go to work every day. My job is more organizing and paperwork than I am on the tools, which is a nice change because my previous job, I was on the tools a lot and not doing a lot of paperwork. And now at this new job, it's like a 180-degree turn. More paperwork and organizing because you have to deal with a lot of government agencies and such like that when you make chemicals and everything like that, and pressure vessels and all that kind of stuff. So like everything has to be documented. You have to document like what kind of studs and what kind of nuts you use to put the flanges together, which also have to have their own CRN number. And it's just crazy, all the bureaucratic stuff to do. Like, you need material testing reports for everything you have, for your nuts and bolts and flanges, gaskets, all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. You're thinking a bag of doorknobs? Paperwork good. Yeah, that works. Document like Chernobyl. Everything is fine. You don't mention CRN numbers. That was the bane of your existence in a past life. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's the bane of mine now. I've got to look after that kind of stuff and make sure that everything's in the right spot. Keep copies of everything. And don't use stuff that doesn't have that number, because you ever get audited, you know, they're going to look at you and go, okay, well, take all those studs out of there. They're no good. You know, and if you're like, but nope, just do it. They don't have the number. You know how many fittings are on this system? Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, by the way, Jake D, how's your studying going? You doing okay, buddy? You always hated tracking down serial numbers? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now what they've got me doing, the big thing there is because of some incident that happened at a different plant, but within our company, they had looked like an airline failed. So now, because it wasn't even at our plant, but now I have to go out and document all of the permanent hoses that we have in the plant. It's like, okay, you have to document, you have to have what they're made out of, when they were installed, you know, like all that kind of stuff. What model it is, what's the working pressure. And it's like, man, it's like you guys made way more work for me now. Now I got to go out there and try to track everything down, and everything that doesn't have that, I have to replace. At least I think I'm going to have to, because I might as well replace them. That way I'll have my own copy of the dates and stuff and all the paperwork that's needed. So you're half finished with course 1 of 6. Well done. Keep it up, Jake D. We're rooting for you, you know. So yeah, I'm hoping to get through that soon. That's a lot of talking to vendors and manufacturers about their stuff. And yeah, a lot of it's a real pain, really. Especially you know, trying to figure out what year these things were installed and who to get them made from. That's the big thing too. It's like, well, who made these? And who's going to do it now? For Whoopstotska and wife Whoopstotska. Exactly, Jakey. You got her. I hope you guys are having good times at your job. I think that's important too, is doing what you like at your job. I know some of you will have jobs that you don't like, and that's unfortunate. Trying to find a job or a place to work at that you do like, if you can hit that, then you're just golden. You know, you're having a good time. You actually want to get up and go to work. You're not dreading it. You're not like, oh man, I don't like this. So at least try to find something that you like to do and you want to do as a career. And then grab it by the horns and just give her. Like, you got to pursue it hard. And then you'll be good at it, and no one can ever take that away from you. But yes, I am just rambling on now. I hope it's entertaining, but a ramble here and a ramble there. Is chasing waifus a career option? You know what? I would be first in line for that. Because I think that's an excellent career option. But even better, rather than chasing them, is have them come to you. That's even better. Godzillionaire for Comrade F. Yeah, I'd say that's good. That's good stuff. Well, everybody, I'm pretty much ended my time here. I've had a great time talking with you guys. I hope you've had a fun time listening to me. You know, we have to do this again next week, as you well know. Same time, same channel. Coming up for me It's going to be game day on Saturday, where I continue on with more Minish Cap. This has been a really fun game. I'm liking this. It's a fun game. Canada flag. Thanks, Jake D. And then on Sunday, I will continue on with March Mecha Madness. If you like Mecha, like I like Mecha, you're going to want to tune in. Hey, Nico. Yes, it's a pop stream at night. Good to see you. I just had to, was just talking about the trades here. I do it every Tuesday. You're welcome to stop by and listen. I don't know if it's right up your alley or not, but, talks about just working the old blue-collar job and checking out what's going on in industry and who we need to fill in the shortage of skilled trades around here. And yes, on Sunday, March Mecha Madness. Is there a Mecha Godzillionaire? I don't know, there could be. But I'm going to do from last stream was from the 60s and 70s. So if you didn't see that, I reviewed, what did I review again? Tetsujin 28, better known as Gigantor in the West. And, what was it? No, not that one. It was, Mazinger Z. So, I watched those ones, and those were good. I enjoyed. Now, this one is going to be from the 80s and 90s. So you got to tune in to see which show, which shows from the 80s and 90s that I was watched and enjoyed. So yes, Mecha from the 80s and 90s. I'm looking so forward to it. There's such good shows from the 80s and 90s, and I hope you guys are excited for it too. Because I can remember watching them as a kid, and I would pretend I was piloting those mecha, and that was awesome. Just let your imagination run wild. But you will have to tune in to see what shows they are. And with that, my friends, please slap that like button. It helps me out a bit. Lets YouTube know that you enjoy what you see and what you hear. And I would just like to take time to thank everybody individually, starting with Angry Canadian. It's always good to see you. I'm glad you're able to tune in when you can. And Alex Moore, hopefully having fun on the night shift. Godzillionaire, everyone's favorite kaiju. And the comedian of the crowd, Jake D, who always kills me with his one-liners. And Nico. It's always fun to see you stop by. And I hope you're having a good time. You know, the usual suspects that show up. Are you in Nippon Stotsuka? Yes, Angry Canadian is in Japan right now. Yep. Was the dream. Was the dream to operate mecha. Don't forget, there's other good channels out there too to go and hang out and watch. Guys like Mike from Pacific 4 and 4. And I think going on right now is Blaine from Blaine's Escape Corner. He does his stream every day, Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time is when he starts. Ronan66 does a pretty good stream too, and DJ Ronnie G, Brandon the anime guy. He's good to watch for some of his anime stuff. The Nerdporeal Lifeform, and Punkwaddle at Floral from Under a Rock. That's an enjoyable show if you like watching puppets. And I do. I quite enjoy it because Punkwaddle's a pretty cool guy. And don't forget Whoopa Troopa. Definitely want to see some of him, more of his stuff. I've got a Discord. It's called The Shop. That's where all the tradesmen hang out. They hang out at the shop. I'm on Twitter too. Sometimes, some days I'm just scrolling through Twitter and I think to myself, I got to get off Twitter. Because there's just some stories that you see on Twitter and you're just like, I got to get out of here. Some of my videos are out there on BitChute, Odyssey, and Rumble, just because they're not as heavy-handed as YouTube is. And that, my friends, is another Trades Talk Tuesday in the books. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. I really appreciate you coming out. I'm very grateful. I am now, and now it's time for me to end the stream. And with that, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.